times, turning all around times, I'm gonna praise the Lord. Dark times, bright times, nothing going right times, I'm gonna praise the Lord. I believe He knows the things I need and He's in control. I was made to give Him all the praise, 'cause He is the Lord. Up times, down times, turning all around times, I'm gonna praise the Lord. Dark times, bright times, nothing going right times, I'm gonna praise the Lord. I believe He knows the things I need and He's in control. I was made to give Him all the praise, 'cause He is the Lord. I'm gonna praise the Lord. Dark times, bright times, nothing going right times, I'm gonna praise the Lord. I believe He knows the things I need and He's in control. I was made to give Him all the praise, 'cause He is the Lord. I was made to give Him all the praise, 'cause He is the Lord.
Welcome to Ignite Online. We have had 9 weeks finding out all about the fruits of the Spirit, about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and today we have got to the last one, which is self-control. But before we get on to that, I hope that lots of you have been enjoying our Ignite sessions and joining in at home and finding out more about God. For next week, I would really love to have lots of you involved in our Ignite Online video, showing other people what you've been up to. So, if there is anything from Ignite over the last few weeks that you have tried at home, any crafts or stories or games, or anything that you've really enjoyed, please can you tell me about it? We have got a special email address just for this, which is kids@emmanuel.org.uk. So you can ask an adult to send me a picture or a video of something you've done, or to write an email about it and tell me about it, and then I will put this all together for our Ignite Online video for next Sunday morning. Now back to self-control. I wonder what you think about when you think of self-control. Self-control is all about how we act when we are tempted by something. It could be chocolate or sweets, or it could be lots of different things. So do we give in to temptation and take something, or maybe say something or do something that isn't good for us, or that we shouldn't? Or do we control ourselves? Welcome to my world, God said to Adam. It's good, isn't it? Welcome to my garden, God said to Eve. This is the most beautiful place of all, and I want it to be your home. Take care of the animals for me, take care of the plants, and eat whatever you like. There are plenty of trees to pick from. Adam and Eve didn't know what to say. They looked at the garden, they looked at each other. Life was going to be perfect here, just perfect. There's just one thing, God said. Do you see that tree over there? The one in the middle of the garden? Well, the fruit on that tree is not good for you. If you eat it, you will make me very unhappy, and you will have to leave this beautiful place. Adam and Eve looked at each other again. With so many trees to choose from, that hardly seemed to be a problem. And for a while, they were content with the soft, juicy, sweet fruit from all the other trees in the garden. Then one day the serpent came to visit. Tell me, the serpent said to Eve, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? "We can eat from any tree in the garden," said Eve, "except for the one in the middle of the garden." "Oh," said the crafty serpent, "and why is that?" "Because it would make God unhappy," Eve answered, "and we would have to leave this beautiful place." "Ridiculous," laughed the serpent. "God does not want you to eat that fruit because he knows it would make you as clever as him." Eve thought that the fruit looked delicious. She had sometimes wondered what it tasted like. It wasn't really fair of God to keep things from them. So she picked a piece of fruit and took a bite, and gave Adam a taste as well. And right away they discovered what it meant to do something bad. Their stomachs churned with guilt, their faces turned red with shame, and instead of running to meet God when he next visited the garden, they ran away to hide. Adam and Eve were tempted, and they didn't have self-control. They followed their own way instead of God's. Now, fast forward a few thousand years to somebody else who was tempted. Here's Jesus. After he was baptized, Jesus was led by the Holy Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. He ate nothing for 40 days and 40 nights, and after all that time he was hungry. The devil came to him and said, "If you're the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered him, "It's written, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand in the highest point of the temple. "If you're the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down, for it's written, he will command his angels, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus answered him, "It is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendour. "All this I will give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it's written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Then the devil left him, and the angels came and looked after him. Everybody gets tempted by things that might not be good for them and that aren't God's way. Self-control means choosing God's way instead of the things that tempt us. And we all need God's help to help us know his way and his Holy Spirit power to help us to have self-control. So when you get tempted by something, remember to stop and think about it. Is it a good thing? And pray and ask God to help you to choose his way.
Through the mountains and oceans, through the sand and the trees, I will go with your power, your spirit living in me. Through the mountains and oceans, through the sand and the trees, I will go with your power, your spirit living in me. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our names. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. Through the mud and the thunder, through the cold winter snow, your love always surrounds me. So with a smile I will go. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our name. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. is calling our names. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our names. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. You have called me, I will follow. You will lead me, I will go. When I stumble, when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. Come set your rule and reign in our hearts again. Increase in us, we pray. Unveil why we're made. Come set our hearts ablaze with hope, like wildfire in our very souls. Holy Spirit, come invade us now. We are your church. We need your power in us. We seek your kingdom first. We hunger and we thirst. Refuse to waste our lives, for you're our joy and prize. To see the captive hearts released, the hurt, the sick, the poor at peace. We lay down our lives for heaven's cause. We are your church. We pray, revive this earth. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Heal our streets and land. Set your church on fire. Win this nation back. Change the atmosphere. Build your kingdom here. We pray. Unleash your kingdom's power, reaching the near and far. No force of hell can stop your beauty changing hearts. You made us for much more than this. Awake the kingdom seed in us. Fill us with the strength and love of Christ. We are your church. We are the home on earth. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Heal our streets and land. Set your church on fire. Win this nation back. Change the atmosphere. Build your kingdom here. We pray. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand, heal our streets and land. Set your church on fire, win this nation back. Change the atmosphere, build your kingdom here, we pray.
Here's a craft to help you remember about self-control and to help you remember to stop and think and pray when something tempts you. So we are going to make a squishy stress ball. You will need a couple of balloons and some flour and a funnel. I didn't have a proper one, so I've just got a piece of an old plastic bottle, which will work just fine. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to stretch one of the balloons out. To do that, you could blow it up and let it down again. Just a second. Okay, my balloon is stretched. The next thing is to fit the end of the balloon over the end of the funnel. Make sure you get an adult to help you with this one, as it can get very messy if you're not careful. Then you need to fill up the balloon with flour. Okay, very carefully we need to take the balloon off the end of the funnel and then ask somebody to help you tie a good knot in the end. Okay. With your second balloon, cut the end off and then stretch it over the first one, just to help avoid any spillages if it breaks. There we go. Okay, and then the last thing to do is to decorate it. And I'm going to put a little leaf on the top of mine, as it's one of the fruits of the Spirit, to make it into a little fruit. There. If you have some at home, you will need some bubbles, and you need to ask somebody to blow some bubbles for you. But I want you to stand still and not pop the bubbles. Self-control can feel a little bit like this. It can feel uncomfortable because you might really want something and it's really hard to stop yourself. So, in the time it takes the bubbles to hit the floor, why don't you pray and ask God to help you to know His way and to help you to have self-control? And after you've done that, why don't you blow some more bubbles and this time have a play and you can pop them. This game is called Ninja. Take it in turns. You are only allowed one move at a time, or to react to someone trying to get you. If someone touches your hand, put it behind your back, and if both of your hands have been caught, you are out.
Go Ninja!
Oh, Greg went at the wrong time. Yeah, lose a hand.
No, it's me. That was my retaliation, so that's mummy. Oh, you got me.
That's it for Ignite this week. Remember, I would really love to hear about any Ignite things that you've been getting up to at home. So get an adult to help you. Send them in to the email address kids@emmanuel.org.uk this week so that they are ready to share with everybody on our Ignite video next Sunday morning. Bye!